Hello, I've been asked what my plans are for bottom surgery. Um, I'm leaning more strongly towards the metoidioplasty as opposed to the phalloplasty, just because the metoidioplasty retains a lot more natural function and sensation, whereas the phalloplasty is really just a whole lot of tissue that doesn't really have erotic sensation. So really, if I wanted something vaguely biologically shaped and sized that has no feeling, I can use a dildo. You know, with the metoidioplasty, most of the time, if you've had enough growth, to have a metoidioplasty, you should be able to have some kind of penetrative sex, with or without pumping, and I'd really prefer to have the natural feeling and function. And I think, you know, while of course it's smaller, it still has a more natural, less completely man-made appearance. I also think just the wide range of options that go along with the metoidioplasty, should you choose to have them, and that you can pick and choose which options you want, so far as like whether or not you want urethral lengthening or just the clitoral release, or if you want vaginoplasty or testicular implants or scrotoplasty. I mean, you can pretty much pick and choose which things you want and which things you don't, based on your personal preference. And it just seems that it can be done in a lot fewer procedures. I think with the phalloplasty, it's something like a minimum of 14 to 15 procedures if you have the pedicle flap. And with both the pedicle flap and the radial arm preflap, I think that's what it's called, I mean, they both leave huge unsightly scars in other areas of the body. And there's a really, really giant, big risk of infection over so many procedures. And I've just known so many people that come through here to go see Wilson. And I've heard a lot of bad stories. And I've heard a lot of things about people getting all these massive, nasty infections and necrosis and all kinds of just horribly bad things that, you know, I just don't even think I want to risk anything like that. I'd rather, you know, if I do decide to have surgery, I think I'm leaning more towards the release with, I'm still debating whether or not I want the urethral lengthening, just because of the occurrence of fistula issues, but I do not want scrotoplasty because I prefer to retain my vaginal canal, if you want to call it that, just because, you know, that's a lot of erogenous tissues, and, you know, I don't think I want to give up that much erogenous tissue. And it doesn't really bother me that much. So yeah, I don't really feel the need to remove it. And if I do have testicular implants, they would be more modest. I don't really want huge balls or nothing. I would want something proportionate in size to whatever I would end up with from the metoidioplasty. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about bottom surgery. For me, though, it's probably not something that I'm really even going to think about for a few years, just because I know it costs. It's probably going to cost at least around $10,000, if not $20,000. So, which again is much cheaper than the Saloplasty. I mean, those run anywhere between 50 and 100,000, maybe more, depending on where you go, who you see. But yeah, I think if I do get that, it'll be the metoidioplasty. Probably what I'm more focused on at this point is obtaining a revision for my chest surgery, because that's really what I have the most dysphorias about, is the terrible scarring on my chest, which you can see in other videos. So that's it.